Rosemary, it's great to see you, but wow, as we speak, what, a week or so ago, did I get a surprise? Because I'll just let me set the scenario on my side. Okay, my younger brother, Abraham, was
Yeah.
being honored
Yes.
at U of T. He was receiving his bachelor's philosophy. He is now Dr. Abraham Blair, which I am so proud of. So we are there, the family is there, and we're ready to watch him. And we're sitting there, and we had good seats. We were on the what? We were in the second or third row. I think it was the second row. So we had good seats. And as I'm looking up, and I see the matriarchs all getting up on stage, who do I see arriving there? It's you. And my jaw is hitting the floor. And your people are there. And I'm going, what the heck is going on here? And they're going, there's a reason why she's here. And they're looking at me going, aren't you here for her? I said, no, I didn't know she was here. I was here for my brother. So, can you explain what was going on with you being there, which I am so happy I got to share two very special moments?
Well, I have been sitting on a secret for months. I got a call from the president of the University of Toronto inviting me to accept an honorary doctorate from OISE University of Toronto. And they hadn't quite decided at that time what the honorary doctorate would be in, but as it turns out, it's a doctorate in laws and honoris causa. And the idea is that my social justice activity through heading the only provincial heritage organization in the country for 22 years, through my success at initiating a number of really important symbolic things, such as February is Black History Month and August 1st is Emancipation Day, and a number of other commemorations, was being honored. And it was when I was also blown away, even though I knew it was coming, and when I could finally share it with people. But it was, when you're up there, it really does hit you. The full weight of this important institution honoring you for what you've been doing without any consideration for what might come of it. You do it because it's important. You do it because the community needs that expression and that affirmation and that knowledge. And so it was really touching to be honored for that. Yeah.
I am so happy I was there to see it, took some pictures. But I didn't get a chance to see you afterwards because, as you know, it started raining and I had to get my mom to the car because I didn't want to get her soaked. And it came down.
It was pouring, and to be honest, I didn't get to see too many people. They kind of, because of that, because of the protest
Yeah.
on the grass there, they were trying to redirect everybody away from that. They're doing what they're doing, and the university was doing what it was doing. So that plus the rain, I basically, it's like, Dr. Sadlier would come with us, please, and away you go. So we ultimately did gather in the chancellor's office and take a couple more pictures. And then we were escorted to another place in the university for a really lovely lunch. But yeah, the rain was not helpful.
No, you had other honorary degrees, correct?
I got one almost the same time last year from
Yeah.
university. And that was a complete surprise because, I think of it as it's called OCAD now, but, there was a point when the focus was so clearly on design and the arts. And I'm thinking, but I'm not an artist. But when you play a bit with the definition of what is design and what is the intention of design, then I thought, yeah, what I've done fits into design because I'm designing or helping to contribute towards a design of a future that really is about transformation. So yeah, I got that one too.
Well, here's the thing because you and I share three things. We've both received honorary degrees. We're both winners, honorees of the Harry Jerome Award.
That's right. Yes, I got.
The big surprise that I saw a couple of years ago is you and I were inducted into the Von Road Collegiate Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And in fact, I mean, it's no longer there anymore. It was called Academy, and it's no longer there anymore. But I have a picture of it, and I'm here, and you're just right. We're next to each other. So we have this, I don't know, sphere around us, but there's one thing that I haven't done that you have done, and that's what we're going to talk about now. You are an author of an amazing book that I wished when I was growing up I had. Let's get into this. What is this book called and what is it about? I think you have it with you too.
I do. Hope it doesn't, you can see it
I can
there.
see it perfectly.
Okay, good. It's called The Kids Book of Black History in Canada. It's by Kids Can Press. That's the publisher. And my amazing illustrator is Arden Taylor. So this is a book that is, it's, people might think it's just a reprint. No. I did a book a number of years ago called The Kids Book of Black History in Canada, and slightly similar top title. But this book is completely redone, re there's new content and absolutely all new artwork. Among the things that are new in the book, some of the personalities, some of them have been taken out because the question is, will kids know who these people are? And some new people have been put in, always with an effort to try and have national representation and a bit of gender balance, which of course is never easy. Um, but it also has an African acknowledgement in the beginning, which anyone can use in any of their events, with in addition to a First Nations acknowledgement. And there's a section on representation that I think is really important.
The brainchild behind this originally, how did you come up with this?
Well, I had three kids, and I had been, as you know, successful in doing a lot of groundwork in introducing the concept to people with the city and the province and the federal government. And when we finally had the official first National February as Black History Month in 1996, and I addressed the nation, and I'm with the Prime Minister Jean Chrétien and other Black members of Parliament at the time. I naively or hopefully thought that even though education is a provincial responsibility, that the added weight of having a national Black History Month would lead to required Black history from kindergarten to grade 12 in every school across this country. So here we are. We are now. And that hasn't happened yet. So that's one factor. We still have no required Black history in any school. I mean, maybe, you know, little bits and pieces, but across the country, no.
No.
So the second thing is that people kept asking for the Kids Book of Black History in Canada, the first one. And the publisher was at a point where, do we keep reprinting a publication that in some areas is a little bit outdated, or do we just, you know, do a new book? And they opted to do a new book because the other one had been in circulation, constant circulation and publication since about 1995 or later, I guess. Then the third reason is that I think that with the impetus of George Floyd, may he rest in peace, a lot of things were started again. And while I had this request into my publisher for a while, I think that timing And that situation helped to make the need for something like this even more critical. So here we are. Yeah.
What are some of the stories that we get to read about and learn about?
You're going to learn about the early African history because Black history didn't start in Canada, although it's part of Canada. Um, so it starts in Africa and what happened essentially before in the transatlantic slave trade, because there was flourishing, there were kingdoms, there were really positive things going on in the continent, and not just one country, many different countries. We talk about the transatlantic slave trade because you have to. That is the reason that I'm here and not in Africa. There was an interruption in our journey on the continent, which brought so very many of us to the West. And while some of us may have been delivered because we were considered cargo to the Caribbean, some of us may have been delivered to the United States, and from either the Caribbean or the United States ultimately made our way into Canada. So the early migrations of Black people into this country as invited guests, as Black loyalists, as people seeking their own freedom on the Underground Railroad, and many other waves of migration since that time. I think for me, um, Black history is sort of like it defines diversity. And I think for Canadians and for everybody, it's really important to know that there were Africans on the lands we now call Canada, who were not enslaved, who were here and working and working as translators, working to help found this country and develop certain aspects of it from the 1400s to the 1500s. But in the 1600s, we have the name of one person. His name is Matthew da Costa, and he was not enslaved. And he was the reason, perhaps, that we have the establishment of trade between First Nations and Europeans and in Europe, as long ago as that. But we also have the name of the first enslaved African, and that was a young boy, 8 years old, named Olivier Lejeune, who was the first named, not the first slave, but the first named enslaved African in this country. So when you start with those kind of ideas, I would like to think that it makes people question where we are now and why some things are the way they are now. Um, we don't have issues between and among people or inequities between and among people because it just happened. It's been happening and it's a constant part of the story of Canada, which has included us from the beginning.
Amazing. Like I said, I wished I had this growing up. So, where can we find this? Where can we purchase this? Is it in libraries too? What do we do to get this?
Well, I know that the library, there's a copy in every library in the city of Toronto. I already, the head librarian did let me know that. And if people want their own copy, which of course I hope you will do, they can get one in their favorite bookstore, Nile Valley Books, different book list, um, Knowledge Bookstore. I mean, all of the Black bookstores, but the larger bookstores have them too. And you can get it online from Amazon.ca.
So, just a reminder for folks, this makes a great birthday gift. This makes a great gift when school starts again in September. And when the holidays roll around, start your holiday shopping early.
Well, I'm going to just say this. I was at the Collision conference and I brought a few books. They sold out within a half hour.
Believe it.
And I know that not because it's my book, but because people want the information, I believe that it will be a bestseller. So
Absolutely.
You have to get it early to make sure you're not hitting an interruption in print cycles.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to celebrate that with you. Congratulations on this amazing book. Congratulations on your another honor that is much deserved. Cannot wait to talk to you again because I always learn so much from you. Thank you so much for all the interviews and thank you so much for your friendship.
Thank you. Thanks, Rudy. Appreciate that. And thanks so much for sharing this story about our history.